Coming up here, I also see how UNO Theater, storytelling.
And then learn how local bookstores are competing with online giants like Amazon.
All this and more in the Omaha News. 15 minutes here and 20 minutes there. That's how Flora apartment maintenance worker describes his sporadic schedule upkeeping Omaha landlord William Stanek's properties. Reporter Pauline Dulang joins us in the Studio A.
Thanks, Liam. The complex is one of Stanek's lesser priorities. Attorney Dave Pantos demands Stanek pay $10,000 per client. Titus Moore and his daughter currently live in a 2-bed hotel room with no proper kitchen to cook. Ever since the city condemned the Flora complex on January 25th, Titus and his daughter eat microwavable pantry food provided by Omaha nonprofit Together.
To the building, I mean, he should have, he didn't care about us and like that, he didn't care the way he was living.
Titus is now looking to join the fight against Flora apartment landlord William Stanek, not only as an evacuated tenant, but as Stanek's very own underpaid maintenance worker.
We was the maintenance man. We stayed downstairs in the basement. We was the maintenance man, but he didn't give us, he wouldn't give us all the materials and stuff that we need to really fix the apartment like we wanted to fix it.
Attorney Dave Pantos says although his 7 clients each have slightly different situations, they all have one thing in common, and that is the mental and physical trauma associated with the living conditions at 25th and Jones.
They're just tenants, and they have no power, and the landlords have power, they have lobbyists, they have lawyers, and so it's an unequal situation.
Pantos says in addition to the lack of enforcement on basic housing codes in Omaha, the Nebraska Residential Landlord-Tenant Act is stacked against their favor, making it easy for landlords to collect rent and exploit disadvantaged people.
Well, I'm hoping to find a place, apartment where I had to go through this, So I'm just waiting on them, see what they're gonna do.
Tenants like Titus are still thinking of their next move. Attorney Pantos says he and the tenants are looking to file in court by the end of this week. Meanwhile, Stanek is in the process of selling the Flora building. Back to you in the studio.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine is causing travel and economic chaos throughout Europe. Liam Fenwick says the conflict is already taking a toll on people in Omaha.
On Saturday night, the Bob Kerrey pedestrian bridge was lit up blue and yellow in support of Ukraine. The war in Europe is already affecting people who live in Omaha. Mert Yuridin is a Turkish citizen that lives in Omaha. He regularly travels back to Turkey to visit his family. He says he doesn't know what to expect out of air travel in the coming months.
I generally fly from here to Europe first and then go to Turkey, so I don't think it will be closed. I don't think airspace will be closed. But if it gets really, really big, honestly, I can't really tell.
Yuridin doesn't know how difficult it will be for him to travel back home. But international experts say that traveling to Europe will be problematic.
Russian flights are being closed out of European airspace. Russians having then in turn closed European flights out of their airspace. So if you're trying to fly anywhere, this is going to be problematic.
International relations professor Dr. Elizabeth Chalecki says the war in Ukraine will not only affect air travel, it will also affect gas prices. According to the International Energy Agency, the United States receives 626 barrels of oil from Russia every day. Chalecki also says the war in Ukraine could permanently change the energy economy.
This pretty well removes Russia's gas and oil supply from Western markets, which means that we either have to persuade our allies like Saudi Arabia or Canada or the United States or Mexico to produce more to offset the demand, the loss of supply, I should say.
Chalecki says that Americans should know that gas prices will not increase greatly, but it will cause issues importing oil in the near future.
Chalecki says the war in Ukraine will put more financial pressure on American consumers to use alternatives to gas. Speaking of gas, President Biden announced a ban on all oil imports from Russia. This is in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Approximately 8% of American oil imports come from Russia. This leaves many Americans on edge because gas prices are already at an all-time high. The national average for a gallon of gas reached $4.17 yesterday. Energy experts say gas prices are likely to keep rising until the summer.
There are countless stories to be told in relation to Women's History Month. Reporter Mars Johnson joins us live.
Thanks, Liam. Two local women, a restaurant owner and sociology lecturer, shared their unique perspectives. Okra African Grill is moving locations this weekend. Chef and owner of Okra African Grill, Nina Soji, had to close her restaurant 2 days after opening due to COVID-19 in 2020. Soji says the journey has been like the Mamba roller coaster at Worlds of Fun. Then she got visitors that led her to ask questions about what was happening. Soji realized she was expected to leave. Her landlord rented out her space without telling her.
I understood in my blackness that I'm not wanted here.
Soji is an immigrant from Togo, Africa, who has been a chef for about 30 years and often works 18-hour days to keep her business afloat. She does not fear change, she expects it. Nina Soji has one key word for women out there in the world: perseverance. For Soji, her faith guides her and tells her that there is a time for everything.
It takes a heart to be a woman.
Soji has plans to sell sauces and spices and open more locations. Sociology lecturer at UNO, Jenny Heineman, says it's important to celebrate all genders that aren't explicitly cis, male, and white.
We are seeing the devastating impact of what bell hooks and others have called a white supremacist heteropatriarchy.
Heineman can't imagine not celebrating women.
Different identities do position us differently in society.
Nina Soji is open to whatever life brings her. Jenny Heineman says mainstream feminism is based on the ideas of white cis women. Liam, back to you.
After the break, learn how Omaha is utilizing composting so your trash doesn't end up in landfills.
Coming up, see how UNO Theater is using the stage to spark conversation. We'll be right back.
There's a unique educational experience right here in Omaha. With access to top-rated programs, in-demand degrees, and a worldwide community of graduates, UNO prepares students for life, wherever it may lead. From Omaha to Italy to Uganda to Japan, Mavericks are working in communities around the globe. So where will a degree from UNO take you? UNO, access to exceptional, access to the world. Learn more at unomaha.edu.
My name is Anna Bellinghausen. I'm one of the founders and the president of Women in Media Club, and I just want to be known as a person that would do anything to get a woman in the door anywhere. I want to be known as someone that paved the way for young women before me and that honored and respected the women that came before.
What I really like about this club is it's a really safe space. It's a space that allows us to do whatever, simply so we can benefit ourselves and also benefit the university that we go to.
There needed to be a door to open for these women, just something that they can easily go to, and that's the Women in Media Club.
Around 20 UNO theater students have been utilizing their passions to tell their own stories since August. Reporter Maria Consbrook joins us in Studio A.
Collection of artists at UNO Theater work to get the message of equality and the importance of storytelling brought to this stage.
Platforms such as plays, musicals, poems, and music provide spaces for people to share their stories and encourage them to use their voices. A UNO Theater production, Crossing the Street, is a festival of many voices that includes short plays, poetry, and art, designed to give the opportunity to performers across a range of ethnicities, ages, and the gender spectrum to have their stories heard. Co-producer, writer, and actor for Crossing the Street, Aaron Butler, says the production of this magnitude is intimidating.
This is huge weight on your shoulders to carry the weight of not only your own color, but everyone else's. It's BIPOC, you know, Black, Indigenous, and people of color.
These performers are utilizing the stage as a platform to have their voices heard and to tell stories that cover tough subjects, which in turn has brought people together and has encouraged others to do the same.
Director and actress for Crossing the Street, Darlene Gonzalez, says there's always a story worthy of being heard.
You know, it's realizing and taking that action and knowing that you do have the power to tell your own story and relate to somebody else, and that can empower them to be like, you know what? I am going to say something about it too.
With even more platforms such as social media available at the touch of a finger, it makes it easier to have these conversations. 49% of Americans believe social media is effective for raising public awareness, be it political or social issues. Darlene says, find your passion. Use it for the change you want to see, because maybe your voice is the one to ignite change. That change might just spark conversation that lights a fire in the hearts of men and women around the world.
We are definitely accomplishing what we set out to do.
You can catch live performances for Crossing the Street March 10th through 12th at 7:30 p.m. in the Weber Fine Arts Theater. Back to you, Crystal.
I can't wait for the show. Thanks, Maria. Iowa is one of 17 states to impose a ban on vodka and other Russian liquor sold in their states. In Omaha, shelves remain mostly empty as local retailers halt vodka distribution and sales. The symbolic move is meant to show support for Ukraine after Russia invaded. Russian-produced vodkas account for only about $19 million of the $1.4 billion vodka import market in the U.S. The boycotts are unlikely to affect Russia's economy. Nebraska does not have a ban.
Omaha city officials say streetcar system in downtown Omaha could bring up to $3 billion in revenue. The proposed 3-mile Omaha line would run east to west along adjacent Farnham and Harney streets from 10th through 31st Streets. If approved, construction would happen in 2024 through 2025 with a streetcar open and running by 2026. The streetcar system was first proposed in 2016. The EPA says 15% of U.S. methane emissions come from landfills. Crystal Quall investigates more products that can be reused instead of ended up in a landfill.
Like plastic containers and pallets of paper, food scraps too are recyclable. UNO freshman Imani Ahmed says, if we want to make our planet more eco-friendly, it should start with our university because this is where the future starts.
I don't think they have any recycling food scrap here in this school or like any other place.
However, Hillside Solutions is Omaha's only industrial composting facility. Brent Crampton, director of partners at Hillside Solutions, says they're growing each year with more Omaha residents composting. The process involves heat and oxygen. Then microorganisms have a feeding frenzy, which breaks down proteins, amino acids, lipids, and all types of sugars. Brent Crampton of Hillside Solutions says it takes a month or two to break down and a year to be cured to become this finished compost.
There is an urgency for people to grow into composting. There's an urgency to basically change every aspect of our consumer culture.
While herbicides, pesticides, and synthetic fertilizers produce bigger crops quickly, research shows it also decreases biodiversity and causes soil erosion. Composting is a cleaner option that slowly adds nutrition back into the soil rather than stripping them. Aside from reviving the soil, Crampton says landfills are in the past and composting is the future.
Hillside Solution has partnered with UNO's Office of Sustainability to make compost drop-off sites free for its students. When we come back, see how local bookstores are keeping ahead online giants such as Amazon.
Coming up, Omaha hockey looks to punch their ticket to the Frozen Face-Off. We'll hear the latest from Matt Cabinet for the latest on the team.
To the women women who've paved the way.
To the women who paved the way.
You showed us we can be comfortable to be ourselves.
Comfortable to be ourselves.
Comfortable to be ourselves.
It doesn't always cut it just to do the same job that a man would do in that position, because we as women are judged differently.
That we can achieve anything we set our minds to.
Anything?
Anything we set our minds to.
Women are encouraged more. Women can see themselves in positions that they hadn't in the past. And there's a lot more role models.
Nebraska's finest,
strongest,
and most brilliant
women.
International Women's Day means the whole world.
We honor you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Create your next adventure and travel the world at Omaha's award-winning Henry Dorley Zoo.
For me, it's about understanding the process of communication and what we learn through that process.
So something that you'll find within the School of Communication graduate program is that there is such a rich field of expertise.
I can think of no other discipline where we spend so much time focusing on not just one side of the conversation, but all sides of the conversation.
Not only do you get to work closely with other graduate students that come from all different walks of life, but you get to learn from graduate faculty that take those perspectives and help you grow yourself in a way that teaches you to be an academic, but also lets you be you in a really unique way.
I chose UNL very specifically, not just because I live here, I'm proud to represent here, but because I thought their program offered strengths that I didn't see in other programs.
Omaha sports are in full swing, from NCHC playoffs to home openers at Connie Clausen Field to more midweek matchups for Omaha baseball team. I'm Avery Howard, here to give you the latest and the stories of Omaha athletics and its athletes. To start, the Omaha softball team hit the road the past 3 weekends to open up their season. They returned home with a record of 11-7. This week I spoke to starting pitcher Cameron Meyer about this team's success.
I think just like trusting each other that first weekend, I can speak for myself, it was pretty rough. I think just like starting traveling again, and then just like the first games back got like the jitters out. But once we hit San Antonio, it was kind of like everyone's all in.
Personally, are kind of off to a hot start. 2 Summit League Pitcher of the Weeks already. What do you think has been working so well for you?
And this year I've really implemented my drop ball, which is a lot different. So hitters aren't just seeing the up pitch all the time, and I have like a different weapon in my arsenal per se. So I think that's really benefited me a lot already this season.
Meyer may have opened included the drop ball to her game, but there has been no drop off in her play so far this season. She sits in first place in the Summit League with 93 strikeouts, placing her 20 strikeouts ahead of the next closest pitcher in the conference, who sits in second with 73. Meyer and the rest of the team host Wichita State next Wednesday for their season home opener. The Omaha baseball team made a midweek trip down to Fayetteville, Arkansas last week. In Coach Porter's words, the mecca of college baseball. Although the Mavericks fell to the Razorbacks, it was an atmosphere and an experience they will never forget.
The home of 10,000 plus fans creates for one of the best environments in college baseball. Although Omaha didn't leave with the outcome that they had hoped for, junior pitcher Jackson Gordon says TV doesn't do Baum Walker justice.
Through the tunnel and then see the field and everything, I told my dad after the game, he didn't get to be there, but I was like, Dad, it really felt like, I was playing in like a pro stadium. Like, that's really what it felt like.
Gordon found out he was taking the hill roughly 24 hours before first pitch was slated. Even though he was facing the third-ranked team in the country, he never let the moment get too big.
To me, it was just another game. Yeah, there were more fans there than, any game I've ever played in. And it was probably the best atmosphere I ever pitched in my life.
Gordon says getting to play the likes of USC, UCLA, and Arkansas are major measuring sticks because it proves what the team can accomplish the rest of the season.
What our team got out of it, and especially me personally, was we can play with those guys and we can hang with those guys. And I think we all love that we play those teams early in the season.
For the Omaha News, I'm Cody Harms.
After scheduled changes against North Carolina A&T, Omaha baseball will now play a home and away series against Nebraska Sunday and Monday. For our team across the creek from Tal Anderson Field, Omaha hockey won 4 of their last 6 games, all against top 10 teams in the last 3 weekends. Omaha took 4 points from North Dakota and now looks to build off that momentum heading into the first round of the NCHC playoffs. Head coach Mike Gabinet spoke yesterday before the Mavericks travel to Western Michigan.
There's lots of quality opponents in here. I think Western's 5th in the pairwise right now, and St. Cloud, Denver, North Dakota, and Western, obviously 4 very good opponents here. So nice to have that success against those teams and to build some momentum, some belief here in the second half. And again, our guys are just putting a lot of work in and been showing up every day, finding ways to get better. And just again, we really wanted to have some good momentum going into playoffs and to play a complete game and to play strong and have a good showing. So I think that was the number one focus in our locker room, just to come out and have a real solid game.
Omaha hockey insider Jordan McAlpine joins us live from Baxter Arena. Jordan, what do you know about this team heading into this weekend?
Yeah, one of the big things Coach Gabinet talked about yesterday was finding consistency up and down the lineup and also the depth of this team, which will be tested again this weekend. Omaha earned a 4-1 win against North Dakota Saturday night, and the Mavs are arguably playing their best hockey of the season. But they'll need 2 more wins to keep their season alive against a Western Michigan team that they beat back in December. But they'll need the wins to keep their season and NCAA tournament hopes going.
Thanks, Jordan. Puck drop for Game 1 on Friday is set for 6 o'clock to begin the best 2 out of 3 game series. On the hockey, this past weekend, 9 seniors and grad students were honored, including Kevin Conley. The 2-time captain returned back for another year after COVID-impacted season last season. Reporter Anna Bellinghausen sat down with Conley on the ice to reflect on his 4 years here at Omaha.
And compared to that Kevin that walked in here 4 years ago, coming out of Denver, what's the biggest difference between you then and now?
Yeah, I mean, definitely matured as time went on, and I learned a lot. About hockey and how to play the game the right way, and outside of the rink, and learning a lot growing up out there and doing, like, if it's basic things like laundry and stuff like that, and eating right, healthy, and I think just being a part of this and learning so much has changed me for the better.
If you had one message for the future of Omaha hockey, what would you say to those guys coming in?
I would just say bring a good attitude, work hard, do the simple things, and usually good things happen.
When the skates are hung up, the jerseys are all put away, how do you want Omaha to remember Kevin Conley?
Just someone that worked hard and gave his best effort every time he was on the ice, and gave best effort outside the rink to better this program. So yeah, probably that.
You can catch the rest of Anna and Kevin's interview on our website at unomahanews.com. We'll be back next week for more inside information on the Crimson and Black.
Coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faded press to a full.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime.
Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it.
Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
Many Omaha residents believe the city's music scene is getting back on track. Upcoming music event schedules are saying the same story. Fans are excited to return to live concert events. Artists like Greta Van Fleet, Morgan Wallen, and Slipknot are scheduled to perform at the CHI Health Center in March alone. At least 2 of the events have been sold out. Last year, the city saw a trend of concerts being postponed, rescheduled, and canceled. However, Mecca says Omaha's music performing arts are back in business.
There's really something for everybody, which is, I think what we've really prided ourselves on is ensuring that we're not just a one genre kind of venue, that we bring concerts here for everyone to be able to enjoy.
Another option for music goers is the Steel House, scheduled to open in 2023 and is expected to fit 1,500 to 3,000 people.
Finally, today, local bookstores have many economic and community benefits in our digital age. Reporter Philip Pierce takes us to a local independent bookstore to show how they're keeping up in an online world.
Local independent bookstores have weathered through many changes to keep up with online giants such as Amazon, and have the advantage of having a positive impact on its local community as well as its economy. Co-owner of the Bookworm, Beth Black, explains the challenges of keeping up in an online world.
More of a challenge for us has always been the Amazon mentality, because they have people who expect next day delivery if you don't have something on hand.
Beth also emphasizes the importance of supporting local authors, which gives these bookstores a unique edge over the online space.
We like to support our local authors, so we have in-store readings, book signings. They don't forget that it was all this local support and their talent that got them to where they were.
Though shopping online seems easy and convenient, one shopper argues nothing quite beats the feeling of shopping at a local bookstore in person.
I think it's always better to see the product and open a book and read it, a part of it, to see if you're going to like it or not.
According to a survey done by the Economic Census back in 2017, bookstores still held the most dollar sales on books at $7.1 billion, where online sales came in second at $5.6 billion. For the Omaha News, I'm Philip Pierce.
Next time you're looking for a new book, consider visiting a local bookstore like the Bookworm to support your local community as well as the economy. That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news and entertainment in the Heartland.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UN the Omaha News, or find our website, even more news and stories, at unomahanews.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thanks for watching.
We will see you next time.
Lyle, calm down.
Welcome to the Omaha News. We are Omaha.
The complex was condemned by the city in January for numerous safety reasons.
We are truth tellers and award winners.
They process and recycle approximately 100,000 tons of material.
We are a community of strength and a team of big dreams. We are the Omaha News, where the people are the story.